So maybe the folks listening right now are just like, I would rather not be one of those humans that needs to like adapt to a whole new workplace and still try to be the person involved in the AI ops, which is kind of why you were talking about that triggering factor and made that transition. Maybe we can chat about like some of the other use cases that you had on your list there. You actually posted in your slide deck, you had a really cool matrix of how to classify AI use cases based on like risk and reward. You had a bunch of different ones in there on top of content creation, like ad campaigns, recruitment pipeline, calls with customers, reporting, a bunch of stuff. So, like, talk to us about what went into that classification system, and has that evolved a little bit since you posted it?
It yeah, so it has not evolved yet because I'm not well, I like to start, with few use cases, but if you start small and then you build something quick and then you gain trust a lot faster than if you start with something major and then it's still like not done within a few months. So I hired AI workflow architect, and then it was like his first month. First month, we already built like 3 automations within that month. We built one for influencers team where we track share of voice from a certain number of influences, and then with LinkedIn is like very very difficult, and LinkedIn just hates all sort of scraping.
Yeah.
But like with well, Twitter is way better with this. So we track we just now automate. Like we track mentions from that list of influences, we track mentions of competitors, and then AI just like puts everything in the file, and then it just what we already saved around like 2 hours um, of one team member's time. Like she was doing this like every month, and that's manual work. And then there's like 40 influences, and then 7 competitors. Like that's just like that's the part of the job like she obviously hates. Because this is just like copy pasting, calculating the number of mentions, like just not enjoyable. So yeah, it's just that's already done. One other, marketing analytics, which is like also part of ops in like in a lot of companies. This is the like toughest thing to automate, and especially for us, like we're a public company. Like my the teams that are not a big fan of me right now, they're like procurement, legal, and security team, because I was just like, I want all the tools. And yeah, it just some use cases just not possible for us. While for scale ups and startups, like startups are just like they're the well, I would say scale ups are the winners, because they're already big and they have budgets, and then but they are not like they have like their risk tolerance is good. Like
Yeah.
we can't put any data like that is this sensitive like an OpenAI or Anthropic.
Mhm.
But well, scale up would have like definitely well, just any private company also would have a bit of a different solution to that. Startups, they can be very very like their risk appetites are really good, but and then they don't have a brand they can damage. Like it just don't have anything, so they can outreach like anybody. They can just like be very noisy, and then some of it, like if you throw a lot of like against the wall, some of it sticks. Like that's
Yeah.
what like startups and AI situation right now. Um, so, but like my case is that I'm working like for a big public company, and we still want to save our time of analytics team. So we found the solution in the Google Suite. There's a Vertex AI, and that's they're like very complex, not really UI friendly tool where it doesn't gather context, so there's no project, but you can feed the data in and then talk to the data. So it really saves time. Like the estimated time saved is already around 5 hours a week for our head of marketing analytics,
Hmm.
which is great. So that was like the second one. So there was like, well, so, and then the add-on is another one. So within like a month, we already showed that we could do some really fun stuff. So that's where I'm like going more. Like for summer, for example, I plan to work more with digital marketing, and that's like really, really difficult department because there's a lot at stake. Like I cannot build them the like automated bidding systems
Mhm.
or like $1 million campaign. This
Right.
would be this. So there, like if you have big budgets, then it becomes a lot more like just a lot riskier. But reward is higher, right? And then, but I chose to start working with routine tasks internally, like reporting. That's also something that like is semi automated, but I already collectively saved around 20-30 hours of team's time per month also on reporting. So it's and now I do this is like 5 hours of my time.
Mhm.
Next month it will be 3 hours of my time. But then if you compare this like 30 versus my 3, then it's way better. um, so that's how I think about this. So this grid might be totally different for a scale up, will be totally different for a startup. So it's
Mhm.
like specifically for SEMrush. And then I also color coded some. That's what I didn't share, like that something in red, something in green that I could start with. And then hyper personalized content is my dream.
Mhm.
It's very difficult to do, but I would imagine that uh, we would be able to send something very hyper personalized the moment someone like registers the account with SEMrush. So we will send them, like we will pull our API, and then we will give them something very, very unique, tailored to their account, delivered to their email. So that would be like my dream workflow to execute.